Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. You can call me Ollie. In today's video, I'll be sharing a little bit about my law school journey, the cycle. I'll be telling you guys where I have applied, what was their response, and where I've ultimately decided to attend. So yeah, really exciting stuff. Uh, just a little bit of background. I applied to 20 schools. I was pretty certain that I wanted to attend law school this fall, so I did a mix and match approach. I applied to some of the top schools because I really wanted to attend a top school, but I also applied to some more local schools in my area because I really wanted to maximize my chances of attending law school this fall. And so yeah, pretty much that's pretty much all the background. Yeah, so I won't be going that much into my application just because I kind of want to do a video just about that. But to put things into perspective, because I know it does matter, I know a lot of people care. I mean, I did care when I was watching cycle recaps last year. I'm just gonna share real quick my stats. My LSAT was in the lower 170s range, and my GPA actually kind of interesting because I am still a senior. So I was applying in the fall, and naturally my GPA changed. When I submitted my applications, it was 3.96, but the majority of schools waited to see if I would keep up my fall grades. So by the time that a lot of schools responded to me, my GPA had already gone up to a 3.97. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. I mean, it's like 0.01. I think it was more to see, again, if the grades will fall, because I'm assuming a lot of people would just like work really hard to have a high GPA, and then senior year just let the ball fall. So with that out of the way, we can get started with the list. I will be going by alphabetical order just because it makes more sense to me. And I'll be telling you guys when I applied and when I heard back and what was the decision. For the schools that I got an interview invite, I'll be telling you guys what day I got the invite. I didn't take note of what days I actually did the interview, so that was my bad. But yes, so just keep that in mind. School number one was American University in DC. I applied to American on October 6th, and it took a long time for me to hear back from them. I only heard back from them all the way in March. It was March 25th, and I was unfortunately waitlisted. Then we have Berkeley. I applied to Berkeley, actually the opposite, fairly late in the game. I applied in December 5th, and I heard back from them on January 11th, so they were very quick, and I was accepted. Then we have Boston College. I applied to Boston on November 6th, and I heard back from them February 29th. It was somewhat of a long time, but they were actually one of the few schools that gave me a timeline, and they said that no decisions were going to come before February, so I knew not to expect anything, and I was accepted at Boston with a scholarship. Next one is Cornell. I applied to Cornell on November 14th. I've got a Kira interview on January 26th. So a Kira interview, it's kind of an interview because they ask questions and you answer, but I wasn't talking to a person, you're talking to a program, and the program is called Kira. That's why it's a Kira interview. And I was accepted at Cornell on February 26th. So it was a month, like exactly a month after I got my interview invite, and I was accepted with a scholarship. So very good news. I was very happy to hear. Then we have Duke. I applied to Duke on October 21st, and I was accepted on February 18th. Next up was Duquesne. Duquesne up down in Pittsburgh. I applied to Duquesne on October 21st, and I was accepted on December 5th with a full tuition offer. Then we have Georgetown. Georgetown, I applied on October 20th. It was one of the first schools that I applied, and I got my interview invite actually really fast. I applied on October 20th, and I got the interview invite on October 25th, so just 5 days later. But ultimately, I was actually waitlisted. I got the response back on February 2nd. I was a little disappointed because I was actually really considering Georgetown, but I've gotten great options, so I'm not gonna keep whining about that one. Next up was Harvard. I was also really excited about Harvard because I got to visit Harvard during the summer. I was there for 2 days as part of the trials program. And I can talk more about trials in a separate video if you guys want to. So trials is a pre-law pipeline program that is amazing. But I don't want to crash this video with, information about trials. So let me know if you guys want to hear about it. So I applied to Harvard on November 17th. I interviewed at Harvard. I got my invite on January 11th, but I was ultimately waitlisted. It was on February 13th, right before Valentine's Day. So, yeah. Then we have Penn State. I applied to Penn State, Maine, so Penn State in State College, not Penn State Dickinson. And I applied to Penn State on October 10th, and I was accepted with a scholarship on January 31st. Up next was Pitt, University of Pittsburgh. I applied to Pitt Law on September 28th. I was accepted at Pitt Law on November 17th with a full tuition offer. Up next was the University of Chicago. I applied to U Chicago on November 6th. I didn't get an interview. I was straight up waitlisted on January 25th. Then we have UCLA. I applied to UCLA October 10th. So again, one of the earlier schools that I applied. And I actually heard back from them really, really fast. I applied on October 10th, as I said, and I was accepted at UCLA on October 23rd. For UCLA, just to give a little bit more background when it comes to the financial aspect, I applied for the Achievement Fellowship, and I actually completed my not interviewed in the past interview, sorry. I applied for the Achievement Fellowship, and I've completed my interview in March, but a week after my interview, I already got the financial aid from the school that I actually really wanted to apply my number one choice. So I don't know if I got the Achievement Fellowship or not, just because I withdrew. But I was really excited just to have gotten that opportunity nonetheless. So yeah. Up next, U Michigan. I applied on October 23rd, and I was waitlisted. I got that decision on February 9th. Then we have U Penn. I applied to Penn on November 23rd. Yes, Thanksgiving. My mom was cooking, and I was in the living room, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna cook something up too. So yeah, I applied to Penn on November 23rd, and I was accepted. I got that acceptance on February 8th. Then we have Wasu, and Wasu was kind of an interesting case because I was working on my application. And before I even submitted an application, I actually got an interview invite because I forgot what the program's called, but you can sign up on LSAC for LSAC to share your information with schools. And they found my information through there, and they were like, hey, please consider our school. We're extending an interview to you so we can talk more about, WashU and all of that stuff. So I got that interview invite on October 9th. And that inspired me to just finish my application. I was going to apply there regardless. So I was like, let me just, finish that quick so I can have the application submitted before I interview. So I got the invite on October 9th. I submitted my application on October 10th. And I was ultimately accepted on February 19th with a full tuition offer. So I was really happy to hear that. I was really excited. Then I applied to Widener. That's a school in PA, in Pennsylvania. I applied on October 4th, and I was accepted on November 15th with a full tuition offer. So, really excited about that. And lastly but not least, we got the Y. I applied to Yale. I applied to Yale on November 14th. I interviewed with them on December 1st, and I was accepted. I'm really, 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 really excited about that because all of my friends, everyone that I've talked to, everyone knew that Yale was always my number one choice. It was my dream school, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to make it. I mean, I've gotten some wait lists on the way that made me, not so confident about Yale, and I felt really bad after my interview because I thought I completely bombed it. So I was really, really, really happy when I got the call on January 25th telling me that I was, accepted at Yale, and a few weeks ago, actually like 1.5 weeks ago, I got my scholarship back from them, and Yale is entirely need-based, it's not merit-based, and because of how much money my family makes, I actually qualified for their Hearst Horizon Scholarship, which is a full tuition scholarship program. So I will be attending Yale Law School in the fall. I guess that's the big review. And I'm sorry, I keep smiling because like I still cannot believe that's happening. I'm so excited about it. But yeah, so that was my cycle. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, hold up, cut the cameras, pause. You said you applied to 20 schools and those were only 17. Where are the other three? There were three schools that I applied to, but I actually didn't get an answer before the confirmation that I got the Hearst Horizon at Yale. So I decided to leave those three at the end because I didn't want to spoil where I was going. And so, yeah. So the three schools that I applied, but I actually didn't get a formal result were Columbia. I applied to Columbia on November 14th. I actually got an interview invite on February 15th. And my interview, much like the UCLA Achievement Fellowship, was actually like a week and a half, 2 weeks before I got my scholarship package from Yale. So I don't know what their response would be. I just know that I had to withdraw because I was like, okay, Yale is my number one choice. Thank you very much for the opportunity, but bye. Same thing happened with NYU. I applied to NYU on November 19th. I actually was put on hold on February 6th. And a hold is kind of like a waitlist, but not really, because a waitlist is a formal decision. A hold is like, we haven't decided anything yet. So I guess they won't decide anything because I withdrew. I've gotten into Yale. I've decided that's where I want to go. So I thank them very much for their opportunity, but as to be withdrawn. And lastly, the University of Virginia. I applied to that on November 14th, and I just never heard anything back, and I withdrew because I knew I wanted to go to Yale more than I wanted to go to UVA. So that was it. So that concludes the video. That's my cycle recap. Again, I'm going to go over my application a little more in another video if that's something that like interests you guys. But for right now, I just wanted to share the decisions, the date, and where I wanted to go. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and bye bye.